Hi, Shay. Thanks for joining us on RegWatch today. A pretty big day with the provincial regulations finally fully dropping in their implementation form, which are set to go into effect on September 1st. Please tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and what you do with the CVA and what you think of the regulations.
I am with the CVA. We're the Canadian Vaping Association. We're a federal not-for-profit organization that deals with government relations, working alongside government to try to impose fair and equitable regulations for the industry as a whole.
So how do you characterize the day today in terms of what we've seen coming out of the Ministry of Health?
For me, I definitely see it as a step in the right direction. Having sat with the Minister's office during the early stages of Bill 14, I was weary of what was actually going to happen. We were fortunate that they did open up a consultation twice with consumers and stakeholders, but they also stayed in contact with us and made sure what was going on. They definitely wanted to make sure that this was going to be something that was innovative and new and respected people who were already vaping and also people that were going to move forward for vaping.
So how do the final rules that came out, how do they differ from the way the legislation was outlined previously?
Well, at first it was going to take away indoor vaping in shops completely. Now, as we know, when it comes down to consumers trying product, this is a crucial part of learning, understanding, and picking the right device and or liquid and or nicotine level to make this an effective product. So now, as you can see, it is actually okay for consumers to try and sample vapor products at any time in a retail store.
Now, is that a win?
In my opinion, absolutely. Without that, it's very difficult to make sure that customer is going to walk out happy. And again, making that product effective is goal number one.
So why do you think the government made these changes?
We look at the consumers and their input at all levels, whether it be beginner right up to an advanced user. I think that their voices were definitely heard in legislation here.
So let me ask you this. It seems that there's a bit of splitting the baby, so to speak, here, and that retailers and employees are not allowed to vape in store, but yet customers can, but only 2 customers at one time. What's that all about?
I'm not sure why they would actually stop employees from vaping indoors, and of course owners included, but to my immediate understanding, this would be because they're unsure of what is in the vapor. This is something that we've heard from several different governments across Canada. If there's only 2 people actually trying this product at a time, there's not going to be as much vapor in the air.
So isn't that the contradiction on one side, that it's obviously safe enough to allow customers to try and other people to be around at least with that amount of vapor, but of course it seems that they're trying to keep it from a vape store from becoming a foggy hangout?
I think so. I'd like to say yes. I think that is what they're trying to do. Media and video media especially has definitely hit the industry hard because they're going to go for that aspect. They're not going to show the fact that the majority of customers are over the age of 40 and they're actually using this because they've smoked for 20 to 30 years plus. So they're actually going to go and they're going to look at the hobbyist aspect. But in the end, the main focus here is people are not smoking.
What about flavors, Shay? That's obviously been a very big concern for actual, the customers, the industry in terms of the retailers, and of course, the device manufacturers are concerned about it, and the e-juice makers are concerned about it. And here now, it seems that in the province of British Columbia, not only have they left flavors off the table, they've kind of closed the book on that.
Flavors actually help the effectiveness of this product. And there's studies that backed us on that, and I think that was perceived quite well.
So overall, what's your message to government after hearing what the regulations are, what the final rules and regulations are here?
I have heard from several vendors from the Vancouver area that have been warned in the last couple of days and heard today about vaping indoors. Although the provincial law allows it, the municipalities do not, and they can be fined. So it becomes kind of a push-pull thing, and I'm just hoping that the ministry can actually speak to the municipality and give the vendors a chance, give them a chance to be able to use these guidelines, to use this new law placed by the provincial government to, of course, make this an effective harm reduction method.
Well, I would imagine then this feels like a really big win then.
Absolutely, definitely for the consumer level of British Columbia, and also for the vendors. I know that sometimes it's hard to hear that, you've lost your indoor vaping for yourself or your employees. But the main thing here is not ourselves as vendors or business owners, but it's definitely for the consumers, and it's getting those people away from tobacco cigarettes. So it is definitely a big win for consumers today.